You've been giving your power away for too long. Maybe you didn't even realize it. Every time you checked your phone hoping for a text, every time you replayed a conversation in your head, every time you wondered, what could I have done differently? You were handing him control over your emotions, your energy, your peace. But let me tell you something powerful. You get to decide when enough is enough, no one else. The moment you understand that, everything changes. Think about it. Why do people stay stuck in heartbreak? Why do they keep looking back instead of moving forward? Because they're still waiting for an apology, waiting for closure, waiting for him to realize what he lost. But here's the truth. Waiting is wasting. Every second you spend looking back is a second you could be using to build a future so strong, so unstoppable, that the past becomes irrelevant. Reclaiming your power starts with a decision. It starts with saying, I am done waiting. I am done giving him space in my mind. I am done letting my worth be measured by someone who didn't see it. And the most powerful way to do that, take all the energy you used to invest in him and pour it back into yourself. Look at your life. Where have you been holding back? Where have you been putting yourself second? Maybe you stopped chasing your dreams because you were too busy chasing him. Maybe you silenced your voice to keep the peace in a relationship that wasn't even giving you real peace. Maybe you lost yourself trying to be what he wanted instead of what you needed. No more. Starting now, you make yourself the priority. You take that energy and redirect it toward your goals, your passions, your happiness. You focus on your health, your mindset, your growth. You start showing up for yourself the way you used to show up for him. Because let me tell you, when you do that, you will feel a shift. And guess what? So will he. There's something undeniable about a person who knows their worth. You've seen it before. You've met people who walk into a room and instantly command respect, not because they demand it, but because they carry themselves with confidence, with certainty, with a presence that says, I don't need anyone to complete me. I am already whole. That is the kind of power you step into when you truly move on. But here's the part most people miss. Reclaiming your power is not about pretending. It's not about posting pictures to make him jealous. It's not about faking happiness just to get a reaction. Because if you're still focused on what he thinks, you haven't really taken your power back. True power comes from within. It comes from genuinely shifting your focus from him to you. And yes, he will feel it. People always do. When you stop seeking validation, when you stop waiting for their approval, they sense it. They feel the difference in your energy. And that's when something incredible happens. They start chasing. Because here's the reality. The moment you stop needing someone is the moment they realize they need you. It's human nature. We want what we can't have. We value what isn't easily available. And when you finally reclaim your power, when you genuinely move on, he will notice. But by that time, it won't even matter to you. Because the real victory isn't in making him chase you. It's in realizing that you don't need to be chased at all. Think about the last time you wanted something really badly. Maybe it was a limited edition item, a sold-out concert ticket, or an opportunity that felt just out of reach. The moment you realized it wasn't easily available, its value skyrocketed in your mind. Suddenly, you were willing to go the extra mile, pay more, or do whatever it took to get it. Now apply that same principle to human relationships. When someone is always there, always available, always waiting, they start to feel like a given. Their presence is expected rather than appreciated. But the second that presence disappears, when what was once easy to access is suddenly gone, that's when people wake up. That's when they start questioning, wondering, chasing. It's human nature. We value what we might lose. We only start to truly appreciate something when it's no longer guaranteed. And this is where most people get it wrong when trying to move on. They think they need to tell their ex how much they've changed. They think they need to prove something to show they've moved on in order to get a reaction. But the second you try to prove something, you've already lost. Because proving means you still care what they think. It means you're still looking for validation. Scarcity creates value only when it's real. When you are genuinely unavailable, not because you're playing games, but because you are truly focused on your own life, that's when the shift happens. That's when the person who took you for granted starts to feel the loss. Now let's be clear, this isn't about manipulation. It's not about making someone jealous or using silence as a weapon. It's about a simple truth. People only respect what they can't control. When you were always there, when you answered every text, when you made time no matter how little effort they put in, you gave them control over your presence. They knew they could have you whenever they wanted, and that made them complacent. But what happens when you stop being an option? When you stop making yourself available for breadcrumbs of attention? Suddenly, there's uncertainty, and uncertainty creates curiosity. They start to wonder, why isn't she answering? Why isn't she reaching out? Who is she with? Did she move on? Did she realize she deserves better? And that's when they panic. That's when they start reaching out, testing the waters, trying to pull you back in, not necessarily because they want to commit, but because they want to regain control. They want to know that they still have access to you. But here's the key. You don't give them that reassurance. You don't let them slip back into your life with a simple, hey, how have you been message, because if they truly valued you, if they truly wanted you, they would have shown it when they had you. They wouldn't wait until they felt like they were losing something to finally act like they cared. Scarcity isn't about withholding, it's about repositioning yourself. It's about shifting from someone who waits to someone who walks away. It's about understanding that your value doesn't decrease just because someone failed to see it. And let's be real, the people who take you for granted always come back when they think you've moved on. It's predictable, it's almost a reflex. Because when you were available, they had the luxury of not needing to put in effort. But when you're gone, they suddenly realize what they lost. That's when the texts start coming in. That's when they start asking mutual friends about you. That's when they try to spark up old conversations, subtly testing to see if they still have the same pull over you. And that's when you have a choice. You can go back to being that person who waits, who hopes, who gives them another chance to take you for granted. Or you can stay in your power, stay focused on your growth, and understand that if someone only values you when they think they're losing you, they never truly valued you to begin with. One of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to move on is thinking they need to be cold, rude, or bitter to prove they no longer care. They think ignoring text with anger or making passive-aggressive social media posts will show strength. But let me tell you something. True strength isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about rising above. When you've been hurt, disrespected, or taken for granted, it's natural to feel anger. It's natural to want revenge, to want them to feel the same pain they put you through. But here's the truth. Bitterness keeps you tied to the past. It keeps you in a cycle of emotional dependence where they still control your energy. And the real goal isn't to make them suffer, it's to make yourself free. See, when you're bitter, it shows that you still care. Not in a loving way, but in a way that says, I need you to see my pain. I need you to feel guilty. I need you to regret what you did to me. And the second you need something from them, validation, closure, acknowledgement, you've already lost power. Because needing something means they still hold a piece of you. But let's flip the script. Instead of reacting with bitterness, you move in silence. You become unavailable, not because you're punishing them, but because you're genuinely too focused on yourself to entertain their presence. That's where real power lies, not in a dramatic exit, not in proving a point, but in living so well that they no longer have access to your world. Think about it. When someone reaches out to you expecting a reaction, expecting anger, expecting a cold shoulder, expecting you to lash out, but instead they're met with complete disinterest, that's when they start to feel it. That's when the panic sets in. Because they don't just see that you're upset, they see that you're done. When you're truly unavailable, your actions say, I don't need to block you. You're not worth my energy. I don't need to post about my GlowUp. You'll hear about it when the time is right. I don't need to argue, I've already won by moving on. There's nothing more powerful than a person who refuses to engage in negativity. Think about the most confident, self-assured people you know. Do they seek revenge? Do they waste time explaining themselves? No, they move forward with grace. They let their actions, their energy, and their success speak for themselves. And that's exactly what you do. You become unavailable, not just physically, but emotionally. You don't respond to "I miss you" texts. You don't give in to guilt trips. You don't fall for the "let's just be friends" trap. Because being unavailable means recognizing that your time, your energy, and your emotions are precious, and not everyone deserves access to them. Some people will say, "But what if I still have feelings for them? What if I still care?" That's fine. Moving on doesn't mean erasing your emotions overnight, but it does mean choosing yourself over the past. It means acknowledging that no matter how much you cared, you can't keep pouring into someone who drained you. There will be moments where you'll be tempted to respond. You'll have times when you wonder, what if? But every time that doubt creeps in, remind yourself, being unavailable is not about punishing them, it's about protecting yourself. It's about protecting yourself, because at the end of the day, you don't win by making them regret losing you. You win by becoming so at peace, so fulfilled, so focused on your own life that their regret doesn't even matter. Let's get one thing straight. Revenge isn't about getting even. It's not about making someone feel the same pain they put you through. It's not about proving a point, posting cryptic messages, or trying to make them jealous. The best revenge isn't about them at all, it's about you. It's about transforming your pain into power and turning your heartbreak into fuel. When someone leaves your life, whether they walked away, betrayed you, or simply didn't see your worth, you have two choices. You can sit in that pain, dwell on what happened, and let it consume you, or you can take that pain and channel it into something so powerful, so unstoppable, that one day you look back and realize losing them was the best thing that ever happened to you. Because here's the truth. Success is the ultimate glow-up. It's not just about material things or career achievements. It's about becoming the version of yourself that even you didn't know existed. It's about stepping into your full potential, raising your standards, and creating a life that makes you wake up every morning excited, energized, and fulfilled. Now let's talk about why this is so powerful. One, when you level up, they feel it people. Always notice when you grow, especially the ones who underestimated you. When they see you thriving, glowing, and completely unbothered, it shakes them. It forces them to question everything. Did I make a mistake? Did I let go of someone incredible? Was I the problem all along? They might not say it out loud, but trust me, they feel it. And it eats at them, because nothing is more haunting than realizing you lost someone who became everything you ever wanted after they moved on. But here's the key. You don't level up to make them regret losing you. You level up because you refuse to stay where they left you. Two, your success is a reflection of your healing. A lot of people get stuck in the cycle of pretending to be happy just to prove a point. They post pictures, go out every night and make sure the world knows they're fine, but deep down, they're still stuck in the past. That's not real healing. That's a performance. Real success, real transformation happens when you stop seeking validation and start chasing growth. It happens when you shift your energy from what will they think to what do I want for myself. Maybe success for you means finally pursuing that dream career you put on hold. Maybe it means getting into the best shape of your life, not for anyone else, but because you deserve to feel strong and powerful in your own body. Maybe it's traveling to new places, meeting new people, and expanding your world beyond the limits of your past. Whatever success looks like to you, go after it with everything you have, not out of anger, not out of spite, but because you owe it to yourself to create a life that makes you proud. Three, the more you focus on you, the less you care about them. Something incredible happens when you start focusing on your own growth. You stop caring about what they're doing. You stop checking their social media. You stop wondering if they're thinking about you. You stop caring whether or not they regret losing you because you're too busy winning. And that's when the real magic happens. That's when they feel your absence the most. Not when you're trying to prove something, but when you genuinely don't care. Because the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And when you reach the point where their opinion, their actions, and their presence no longer affect you, you've won. 4, your future is bigger than your past. It's easy to get stuck in the past, replaying old memories and wondering what could have been. But let me tell you, what's ahead of you is so much bigger than what's behind you. There are experiences you haven't had yet, people you haven't met yet, opportunities you haven't even imagined yet. But you'll never reach them if you keep looking back. You can't build a future while holding on to the past. The only way to move forward is to let go completely, unapologetically, and with full faith that what's coming is greater than anything you've left behind. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll wake up and realize you haven't thought about them in months. You'll look around at the life you've built, the happiness, the success, the peace, and you'll smile. Not because you got revenge, not because they finally regretted losing you, but because you finally became the person you were always meant to be.